Oh, well, welcome to another episode of the Way It Is podcast. This man to my left, he was born upside down on the dirt floor of a tool shed in a North Carolina sharecropper farm, and from there, everything has kind of went downhill for him. His name is Mr. Rob Miller, the Eastern Regional Manager over Youngstown and Sarver, and his name is Rob Miller, but look, I've been calling him Big Pap for years because that's a CB handle, and it just isn't going to flow off the tongue if I constantly call him Rob. As you well know, we couldn't do what we do here if we did not have our sponsorship. So we picked up a new sponsor today. Let me just read from what our PR people put out. With the abrupt closing of our longtime sponsor, which was the Miller Academy of Golf Science, you should now go ahead and check out Jimmy's Low Stress Golf Lessons, LLC. The normal cost is $44, but they have a new special for $39. And here's what they specialize in. They specialize in chipping and putting.
Yeah.
Oh, you've used
I've actually seen it firsthand.
Oh,
In the very recent past.
so we have a 5-star review for Jimmy's Low Stress and golf. Now, the owner, one of our other sponsors, which we need to talk about this. We have another sponsor that sponsors this podcast, R. Spradling Pre-Owned Truck Scales, and the proprietor of that business, Rick Spradling. Originally, I think he did study at the Miller Golf Academy, and that's where he learned how to golf. But he's now using Jimmy's Low Stress Golf LLC company, and he tells us it's made him a great golfer.
He's got it going on right now. Let me tell you, he's a legend in his own mind.
But here's the thing. So again, our Spradling used our pre-owned truck scales. They've been
Gently used.
They've been a great. Well, here's the thing. They owe us money.
Get used to it.
As a matter of fact, our Spradling used truck scales invoiced the Way It Is podcast for coming on the podcast. So we're supposed to pay.
Yeah, this. Are you shocked by this? You've worked here for him or with him.
I think it's an honest mistake because you got accounts payable and accounts receivable. So the P is next to the R.
Yeah.
So I think instead of hitting a P button for payable, he hit the R button.
I'm sure that's what it was.
Sure.
Had to be an honest mistake.
How is a golf game, Matt?
Well, it was stellar, but unfortunately, somebody else's game was equally as stellar last night. So
now, did it have anything to do with the liver and onions you ate for Nooch? Really?
No.
It didn't put you off balance?
No. I was putting on a clinic. Unfortunately, my opponent was also putting on a clinic, and I was on the receiving end of that one.
And your opponent shot a 39.
Yes, sir.
And you shot a 44.
39.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, you shot a 39 also.
Yeah, but he has a higher handicap than I do, so I have to give 5 strokes to him. So we shot the same score, but his net score was 5 strokes lower than mine.
So name some names. Who was out shooting with you?
Oh, well, it was kind of the Snyder family reunion. So Jim and Brian.
Oh, Jim Snyder.
Yeah, Jim and Brian Snyder was our opponents. I don't think there was anybody else from Brechbuhler B-TEK in that league last night. But yeah, Jimmy Snyder. And if I had $1 for every time I heard this, so we'll circle back to the R. Miller Academy going abruptly closing. I think I just got dumped on here, but I wasn't aware I'd lost my sponsorship for the podcast. But
oh, you didn't lose. You just got to pay up.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
the deed go.
Yeah. No, if I had $1 for every time somebody said this is the best round of golf I played in my life when they were playing me, so I have to think that I'm the Rob Miller Golf Academy is doing what it's designed to do, because everybody that plays with me seems to play better.
Well, that's fairway. Yeah.
Well, even Norris Bradling, he plays better because he forgets to write down a few strokes, but
Yeah. I was going to say he usually keeps.
his rounding errors, you know.
Yeah. Well, right.
You know,
He uses a pencil when he keeps.
Yeah.
Right. Racer's kind of worn out.
There isn't even an eraser anymore.
That's.
He just keeps track of it in his head.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
And
you can and you can trust him.
absolutely.
What's it like living within a couple miles of Mike Scott?
Well, I usually, sound, I think actually, was the projectile going to get here before the sound, or the sound before the projectile? I look up a lot.
Oh, yeah, I'm a couple miles from you, so technically a bullet would make it before the sound.
Okay. But it would just, at that point, it's
About
fluttering.
2 miles. Yeah, it's about 2 miles. So other than occasional gunshots.
Yeah, other than that, I mean, it's snooping around the neighborhood and, walking around trying to get, people to sign petitions and stuff. That's what it's like living 2 miles from Mike Scott. I mean, if anybody has listened to this stuff for any length of time, they know you're going door to door after work.
Oh, boy. Oh. Married for how long?
41 years, here in a few months.
And what'd you do before Brechbuhler?
Ooh.
And condensed.
Okay, condensed. Mainly transportation related type work. My father owned a trucking company, so I started with him. Then I had an uncle actually right across from B-TEK. That used to be a coal processing plant, coal and slag, and so I worked there for a while. A lot of truck driving, a local, over the road, about any type of combination you can think of. And when I was in trucking, I was in the waste industry, either managing it or recycling it or something of that nature.
So your good friend, Mr. Rick Spradling, says, "Hey, there's an opportunity."
Yeah.
Hey,
So
with friends like that.
yeah, well, it's funny because being born and raised 8 miles from here, probably
Canton.
or less. Yeah, Canton South, from my parents' house to here's 8-10 miles of that. I had no idea what a massive organization Brechbuhler Scales or B-TEK or any of that. I mean, local guy, grew up here, knew the Brechbuhler name, knew some people that worked here, but had no idea what this company actually was and the horsepower behind it. So
you come in
blind,
wouldn't know,
misled and blind.
from your good friend, Mr. Scradling.
Yeah.
Come in as a branch manager at Canton operations.
Yes, sir. Got my 3 days of training from Rick, and here you go.
Turn the keys over to you. How many times were you gonna fire me?
I lost track. I don't know. I do know this, coming into this later in life, we'll say, with a lot of other things in my background, it was kind of the deer in the headlight look when I realized kind of what I had gotten into. But the saving grace was the fact that we were very heavily staffed with senior people that knew this job way better than I ever will. And they were on the payroll here, and I became their new boss day one. And a lot to absorb, but like I said, very fortunate to have people such as yourself, Johnny K, Joanne from the Cara, the way the offices ran.
Yep.
I mean, it's a machine.
T.
Yes, sir. Maestro. Yeah.
It's Mike Tyndall. He's
Great
dude.
people.
Great dude.
Great people, but the moral of the story is I had kind of jumped into a business that I had no real background in. I knew people, I knew trucks, and contrary to some other podcast information, there's a little bit of financial knowledge in there somewhere. I do occasionally make a mistake on a scorecard, though. Occasionally.
But not like some people.
Not intentionally. It would never be intentional.
Gotcha.
Yeah, unless it was against Rick.
What contribution did I make to your blood pressure?
Oh, my God.
Good or bad?
Well, you were very detail-oriented. I recall
Good.
shortly after acquiring my new role, I needed a new service manager because Mr. Thomas thought that we had a better fit for John Kanapski. And that's when I solicited your services, to which you promptly told me thanks, but no thanks.
Yeah, for a few.
But I win. I always win. So,
Yeah.
and how thankful are you today that you got under the tutelage of Rob Miller?
Fair point. Fair point, Pap.
No. Yeah.
So yeah, I remember like the one day you had come back from going out. I think you went out maybe to quote a truck scale. And one of the test trucks, Canton test trucks, comes pulling in, and the side box gets opened up, and live chickens start climbing.
You keep making up.
What goes through a branch manager's mind in that situation?
Well, a lot. I mean, and you're going in 20 different directions when that's coming at you. But
There was
first there was an odor in the building that I thought, oof, boy, we probably better get that out of here pretty quickly. And then there was a chicken running around the surface bay, and a couple of them that didn't make the trip.
Yeah.
Still in the toolbox.
I forget how many chickens were.
I don't know, as many as they could catch and stuff in the toolbox, the way I understand the story to be. They were free-range chickens from an industrial accident that some of our previous employees thought they were going to start a chicken ranch with.
Which they did.
Yeah.
But I think,
The coyotes got them.
oh, that's correct. But I think what I can only imagine what's going through your mind is I sure hope Craig and Andy
Oh, yeah.
don't show
Let's just
to, well, there's like 20 chickens running around the Canton.
20 chickens and us trying to figure out what to do with the dead ones.
And then the one morning, I remember we got a phone call that someone had backed the semi into our concrete loading deck wall, and it was no longer upright.
Yeah. I mean, we had a couple of chances to put that one up.
How'd you handle that situation?
Well, by then I was getting used to it. The same individual had walked into my office and told me he thinks he knocked a light pole over. I said, you think you knocked a light pole over, or you did? And he said, well, I don't recall knocking it over, but it wasn't laying there when I pulled in, and when I walked out, it was laying there. So we did a little investigate and then found the impact top of the boom of the test truck
And
sticking out, backed up, and the boom hit the pole before the bumper did. That's pretty hard to do, actually.
yeah, it's a good aim. So besides quoting truck scales and stuff, you deal with light poles and chickens.
Yeah, we did chickens, poles, concrete work, sometimes more than once. But hey, I learned real quick that, there's a reason this company is as successful as it is because they have high standards, and they want their buildings and things to be nice. And so if you do have an unfortunate accident, you're not just going to leave it go. You're going to fix it. And you're going to fix it right, or you're going to fix it again. So, but yeah, it's very interesting. So between learning scales, truck, floor, hopper, everything in the world that we do, learning our accounting system and all that, the first year was quite overwhelming, to be honest with you. But, like I said, we had good people on this side to help explain the industry. And of course, I had Rick to bounce some ideas off of, and a lot of experience there. So it was interesting.
This will put you on the spot, but what do you think was the biggest job you ever handled between either your time at Canton or your time at the Youngstown Sarver, if you had to?
I can tell you a very interesting job, and it was very early in the career. We extended an old mechanical pit scale by 12 feet while the customer was still using the 60-foot section. Well, we excavated, poured a foundation, like I said, while they were still loading trucks. And if you were familiar with the area, the highway was about 6 feet from where we were working. Quite interesting. So in a week, I think it was about a week, we made a pit extension, 4-foot deep extension, start to finish, poured walls, done. Then on a weekend, removed the scale, demoed the balance of the pit, redid all the piers, reinstalled the scale, and had it up and running for Monday morning.
Yeah, I do remember that because they were A, using the scale, and B, I think it was at a crossroad.
Yeah, it was a square town.
There was no room to work.
Yeah, just to walk to your truck, you had to look both ways to not get hit by a car.
But there was, I remember though,
sandwich place right down the street.
And they did fry pies, honest fry pies.
You got a directory of where fry pies are at with the shine routes you used to run.
Pre-GPS days. Yeah.
That's why they created GPS for guys like me to figure out what guys like you were doing.
Well, a good scaleman always has 2 sets of books.
That's like a trucker.
Yeah.
The log book you show them and the log book you don't.
Oh, what's one of the worst jobs you've ever been part of? Like maybe, and by worst, I mean just, maybe things did not go right, or had, just the complexity of it, or it's something memorable with you, whether at Youngstown or.
It's, they're all unique in their own special way. Nothing ever goes 100% as planned. You have to improvise on the fly. We've had, things show up to a job site that weren't right when they got there, or we've been somewhere and realized we didn't bring something we needed. So, I mean, it's constant. They all have challenges. They're all very rewarding when it's done. But you just
when they're doing it.
Yeah, you just go with the flow kind of during that process, and be able to adjust a little bit, adjust your schedule on the fly.
That I will say that us technical types, we're very process oriented, and if something doesn't go right, whereas with you were kind of like, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, well, again, a lot of it was for me anyhow was learning on the fly, and then a lot of it is, you do it wrong one time, you remember, and then you start
not doing that again.
That gets to be, but there was just tons of really big projects that we did at the Canton branch, and then we migrate out to Youngstown and Sarver, much smaller branch as far as staffing would go, but fully capable guys that put their mind to it and get it done. The jobs that we used to pull off at a branch that had 10, 12, 15 techs. We're getting the same type of jobs done with a branch that only has 4 techs or 5 techs. In Sarver's case, there's the 2 guys out there, and they're having a bang up year, literally.
Mr. Bob Black,
Mr. Bob Black, and
the maestro, Rogers, the maestro, Mr. John, who, and he'll
elevated up in the
and the safety world.
Yes, sir.
So he's out there at
safety takes no holiday.
Yeah, we showed up there at that rail scale pit, and he had his
yes, sir,
monitor on him.
Oh, actually, he had taken that off of a contractor that was leaving when we were walking in. It was in his tool belt.
So he put it on.
We just grabbed it because he knew you were coming.
Put it on for show.
Yeah,
it was even powered up.
Yeah.
That's a step.
Got a lot of young guys from Pittsburgh area.
Yeah. What about the spoon? That's your favorite haunt?
That has turned into more of a social experience and less of a dining experience. So
yeah. So if we wind the clock back, let's go back about 10 years.
When the extortion started, when I used to have to bring breakfast to you and the IT people and the phone group, I wanted something to work. I had to bring an omelet or something.
Yeah. Well, pre-extortion days. Yeah. So you've been going there forever. That's a good truck driving restaurant.
I worked, 10 miles away for many years. Drove there for many, many years.
And I remember the first time I ate there with you, I got made the mistake of getting the same thing you got.
It was a load.
Yeah, it was delicious, but
you don't want to do that every day.
No. I paid the whole day it's set.
Yeah.
But now
it's coffee, water, and solving all the world problems.
Yeah, because a lot of world problems get solved at the spoon. Right?
Absolutely. You have seasoned businessmen later on in their careers that are really good sources for bouncing some things off of.
Pap, it's a bunch of hot air and store.
Yeah,
probably.
If you believe it, Mike, it's true.
20% of what's said there is actually true.
It's like Vegas. What happens it stays at the spoon.
There you go. Yeah, it's I get it. Why ruin a good story with the truth? Some of them.
That's right.
What's a day in retirement going to look like for you?
I don't know, Michael. That's the problem.
I mean, obviously the spoon's going to come into the equation.
Then I'll still have to have my morning cup of coffee.
You can make that in a pot at home. You know what? I drink this French coffee. It's called Folgers.
Mm-hmm.
And making a pot.
You get it at Aldi's too, right?
No, because they don't have it there.
You get the Aldi's brand.
Yeah, no.
No, day in the life of Rob Miller retired. I really don't know, Mike. I'm sure I'm going to want to do something.
Well, of course.
Maybe
a lot more golfing.
A lot of golfing. Maybe some traveling. The wife and I have never really did a lot of traveling together.
International?
No, I'm not leaving the country.
Oh.
I just, could get around and see some people and see some sights.
Maybe some out-of-state travel.
Yeah. Just go where it's warm in the winter. And
typically you go down to North Carolina in the spring and do Pinehurst, correct?
Yes, we just did a 4-day golf trip at Pinehurst this year, a few weeks ago. It was fantastic.
What kind of shape's Brad in now that he's retired?
Is he retired? I wouldn't know. I didn't know. I mean, hasn't really done anything for a couple of years, the way I understand it. So,
he still does show up. I see him walking.
Yeah, well, he don't know any place else to go.
I see him walking around the parking lot. I told him that a month ago or so he's the regional manager of the parking lot because there's several parts of the parking lot, so that would make him a regional.
I do imagine that golf will be highly involved in my retirement. Top of the list. Trucking, there'll be some trucking in there somewhere.
Keeping your yard mode.
Oh, mowing grass, absolutely, if it ever stops raining. But
Yeah. Right now it's a little bit tough. So let's go out to Youngstown, because that's now Eastern Regional Manager for Youngstown and Sarver. And there's some history. Youngstown's got some history. So part of the Rust Belt, and kind of guess for our viewers that aren't really from this area, if you kind of take and draw a line from Cleveland to Youngstown to Pittsburgh, and it does include Canton, which isn't in that mine, but a lot of steel mills back.
Yeah.
And didn't you haul out a lot of them too back in the early days?
Yeah, not as much in the Youngstown area, but Warren, Cleveland, Pennsylvania. But Youngstown, not as much, the demise had already kind of come through.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, at one time, Youngstown was the place to be if you were in the steel industry.
Yeah, because now again, they call it the Rust Belt, of course, because of the collapse of steel. So again, that's kind of Cleveland, Youngstown, Pittsburgh, but it also does include Cleveland, East Liverpool, Mango Junction, Ohio, Weirton, West Virginia. That's all included in that. But I think there was at one point on the Mahoning River there, from kind of like Warren down through Youngstown, down to Lowellville,
through Campbell and all that.
I think at one point there was 20 miles of steel mill. Now I think there was a little bit of breaks in between them, but basically that river had 20 miles of steel mills on both sides. And then Black Monday, which would have been in, I think, October 1970.
I just watched, I can't remember the exact dates, but I just watched a really good documentary on
the collapse of that. Yeah, so in 77, the Youngstown Sheet and Tubes Campbell Works, that was the first to collapse.
Right.
And then it was kind of a cascade effect since then. And I think there's one mill, you guys have it as a customer that it collapsed, but then it came back, and it's now actually pretty good customer.
It's I believe it was North Star at one time or something like that. But yeah, it had almost scuttled. But the pipe industry with the gas, still stayed strong. And then they automated and built a brand new mill adjacent to the old mill. It's, kind of the catch-22. The brand new mill is all automated. Hardly anybody works there. Massive place with 50 cars in the parking lot, versus the other mill, a massive place with 5,000 cars in the parking lot. So, but yeah, so it's, there is still some industry related to steel. A lot of places have converted over and
doing something
else in those buildings. So there's still a lot of activity out there. And then Sarver, obviously, probably less steel with the mining, and I mean, everything is just remote. It's an hour drive to get somewhere a lot of times.
Because working out there, anywhere you had to go was a 2-hour drive.
Just about.
Briefly, it's come back to Youngstown for our viewers. So Bruce Springsteen wrote a song called Youngstown.
My Sweet Jenny or something like that.
Yeah, one of the verses, or kind of the chorus or whatever you want to call it. I don't know music very well, but he talks about a couple times he sings "My Sweet Jenny, I'm sinking down here, darling, in Youngstown," and he's talking about Youngstown Sheet and Tubes Briar Hill Works, and Jenny was the name of the blast furnace, the Jeanette furnace,
right?
And that's that mill that you guys currently do have as a customer, because it collapsed but then came back, and so there's a lot of history, a lot of bad, sad history in there. But to your point, the industry is coming back, because you guys are getting a lot of more work now there in Youngstown.
But the history of the old rail scale at Elwood that you were just at, when you come out and shot those videos, we have people from here worked on that same scale.
in the 70s.
Yeah, 50 years ago.
Yeah, in the 1970s. Yeah, we're gonna get that video put out on. We'll put on Viva Engaged, keep it intercompany. But yeah, we
I
shot.
don't let anybody know my trade secrets, whatever you do.
What trade secrets?
Oh, I can't tell you. Can't put that video out there. You'll see us troubleshooting, and we can't give our competitors any advantage.
No, that video. So that video I shot under the rail scale, I had to reshoot it like 4 times because you and Rogers talking. So I finally went to the other end of the pit, and I got the third take because I would get going and you guys just. So let's talk about managing people and stuff like that, and in particular, Youngstown. So you guys, like when you put a truck scale in, one of the things you guys do is the Friday after that, you'll do like cookout, right?
That was the original plan, was a steak dinner for every truck scale installed, but we're woefully behind on providing that. But
What's it do for morale?
oh, it's just good to chill out for a little bit, and you got new guys that are starting with the company, so yeah, we've got to make them feel welcome and understand that it is a job, but doesn't mean you can't enjoy yourself while you're there. The guys work hard. It's those jobs are not easy. So a nice afternoon at the shop eating a steak.
It was appreciation.
Yeah, our breakfast. We bought a Blackstone. We have Blackstone Ben on the payroll, and Blackstone Ben whips up some pretty good grub whenever we need it.
Well, yeah, because you were the winner of the best.
You were.
Well, in early 2025, when we did your MSHA, you definitely won the best MSHA cook-off. But then early this year, you kind of fell off the wagon. I think we got like...
Well, I can't compete with Justin Baker's sausage or whatever we got going on here.
Yeah, him and Lance Zink. Supposedly Lance will be down there here in a few weeks. Supposedly he's got some stuff cooking, so they may edge.
Well, sorry, the victuals weren't up to your specifications.
Because then it just had his surgery, and so it didn't work out, but it was still okay.
Yeah,
we lived. It's not like I really need.
We're not going to go there.
At any rate, so you don't have much turnover.
No, we've had the same 5 guys for 6 years probably. We did have one gentleman leave this year, and hence that's why we hired a few. Great terms. He stops back from time to time just to socialize with the guys, but he was a key player in the group, and so we're just getting back to where we need to be.
What's the key? Keeping folks, and
I don't know. I mean, everybody manages people differently. I'm kind of famous for, maybe a little humored sarcasm to get my point across from time to time, but, and maybe because I didn't know the industry coming into it, I wanted to learn it myself. I wanted to get out there, do it, get dirty. And I think as long as you don't expect any more out of your people than you're willing to put forth, as whether it's getting out there and pressure washing a truck scale and throwing your clothes in the dumpster and driving home in your gym shorts, or anything like that. You got to be able to make them understand what you're putting them into, and I think people respect that.
And getting out and getting dirty on his job.
Just spend some time with the technicians, so you know what they're going through and they know what your expectations are. And it's never going to be perfect, but at the end of the day, the goal is to make the customer happy, get the scales up and running, and we do a pretty good job of that.
You guys communicate well too, correct? Like, how do you're on the road a lot of times, so you can't always have meetings, but
No, most of my communication is direct communication with a tech or a group of techs about a job. A lot of text messages to the whole group was just as an easy way because everybody's getting to that point. Nobody answers their phone. They just, they're busy. They look at a text message. You can look at it at a later time and
know what you need to do.
Know what you need to do. So, and then, from your experience here that your schedule usually lasts 10 minutes and you're changing it.
Yeah.
Because the phone rang. So you have to be able to have, some good communication skills and flexibility with the guys. So,
and the guys say you're good at making sure everybody understands the game plan. And the game plan may not work out, but when instead of people just being thrown into the wolves, there's a game plan put into place.
Well, I learned the hard way that some people require more attention than others do, or I shouldn't say require, maybe they just respond better.
More detail.
If there's more detail, and other guys don't want a lot of detail. And that's things that you learn along the way. And something that I thought would have been doesn't really require any detail.
To that guy.
For that guy, it did. And he made it very clear to me that he likes to know what's expected of him. And so, again, you adjust and you learn and you put the right tool on the right job. And, over time, everybody gets a little more adept at what they do. And pretty soon you got 4 or 5 guys that can do just about anything you want them to do.
Do you trust that they have the best interest of the customer and the company in mind?
I do.
So there's going to be mistakes made.
Oh, absolutely.
But and you've said this before, I know when they go out, they have the best interest of the team, the customer, the company.
There was probably a time that there wasn't as much effort put into looking for work. At the technicians actually out there trying to find, additional work other than what they were dispatched to do. I didn't really like that. So I think one of the things was if they didn't want to work on a Saturday, let's not really bring it up and it'll go away. Well, we just started pushing for while you're out there doing a jack and grease, check this, check that, do, all the things that are required that maybe potentially turn into some more work down the road, and incentivize the guys for doing that. And they jump in and
they look for opportunities. To take better care of the customer.
Take better care of the customer, avoid potential downtime because, hey, I can fix it right now while I'm here to, take 15 minutes. If you call me out at midnight, it's 4 hours. And so the guys are good about communicating with the customer as well as communicating with us in the office, myself and Pete. So we can circle back around and make sure the customer gets what they want.
And go back to what you said several minutes ago. There's a sense of calm with the guys because you as a manager are out there with them. And you can't be all the time.
No, I don't even know that I would say there's a sense of calm. I think we're all getting more. Again, the bulk of the crew has been here for 5 or 6 or 7 years now. So they've installed a lot of scales, removed a lot of scales. We have different people doing different jobs. But at the end of the day, I think they're all very confident that they're experienced well enough to do what we do and do it pretty well.
And you got their back.
I got their back. Like I said, some of the shortcomings on the job are directly related to, I didn't think them through very well. And you can't blame that on somebody else. Sometimes it's nobody's fault. Stuff just happens. But at the end of the day, we know what our objective is, and we're going to get to the finish line one way or the other. Might have to take a little detour along the way, but we're going to get there.
Guys see it. It works.
If the guys see it, and again, it doesn't do any good to blow a gasket and go jump all over somebody. But the goal is let's get the problem solved. We'll figure it out later where we went astray. And again, when you go astray, that's when you learn from your mistakes. You won't make that same mistake twice usually, because usually it causes more work and so you're the guy doing the extra work.
Yeah.
So, no, it's very good.
Basically, if I'm hearing you correctly, you understand that the guys, they have the best interest, the customer, company, the team in mind. They're going to go out. Sometimes they're going to make mistakes, but you're also going to make mistakes. So let's, instead of sitting here crying over spilled milk, let's put a plan together how we're going to fix it.
Learn from your mistakes.
Learn from it, and let's.
So we did one the other day where we installed a truck scale with 110K load cells in it instead of the 77Ks. Require a different dummy pin. We didn't do that. Therefore, we installed the scale. It was an inch too low, and we're scratching our head thinking Big Pap doesn't know how to measure a pit. Come to find out, the scale was perfect once we put the taller load cell in. But again, I'm scratching my head thinking, did I really mess this up this bad? And ultimately, no, nobody did.
So instead of getting all tore up,
Right. But again, do you have a customer standing there watching you put their new 30-year investment into service, and you want to make sure they're comfortable with how this is going down. So there are a lot of times the customers are right there watching us work, and sometimes they're not. But at the end of the day, we know what we need to do, and we're not going to stop until we get it done right, even if that is painful sometimes.
Well, good job, Pap, because they're both the Youngstown and Sarver branches are really hitting.
They're doing well. I got good people.
Yeah, they're great people. I mean, it's you go out there and talk to the guys, or even when they come here, and it's kind of almost like it's like kind of like they're your family. You do some small talk and some jostling and stuff, and then you get down to business, and they're great people. Hopefully that continues.
Right. So I think honestly we're positioned well. We have good people. Again, bulk of them have been here for a long time. Obviously there will be some transitioning with my stepping back a little bit. Pete's about done sales, so there's some opportunities out there. But we're staffed pretty well.
What would you tell whoever replaces you? What would you tell them about, what you and your team have built out there and how to carry it forward? You got anything? Or?
I mean, obviously when you hand something off to somebody that you're proud of, you want to maybe get your point across on how you got to where you're at today, because it wasn't always like that. I think that. I learned a saying from you one time, and it at the time I thought that was just another Mike corny comment, but actually there's a lot of truth to it, and I think that maybe puts a little different spin on the branches. You said one time, just because our trucks are red doesn't mean we're a fire department. Now, you think of that, and you're a service company, so you rush out and solve everybody's problems. But the reality of it is, there are days that the phone is going to ring more times than you're going to be able to put steel on target. Yeah. And I think when you just take a deep breath, you don't panic, you don't rearrange the schedule 15 times, you just deal with it, start picking them off one by one. And the guy that you're sending out in the field to do that job feels better because he doesn't feel like he's a pinball bouncing all around the machine that has no idea what he's doing next. So we'll make a plan, and it'll be a good plan. And many times that whole plan is getting tossed out the window. But because of the communication we have between the technicians and the operation, and this is Sarver and Youngstown as well, they all know what was still on the agenda before the phone rang, and they do their best to try to not only take care of what came in today, but let's figure out how to not make the whole day a wash. I'll go do that one, and while I'm there, I'll still get these two that we already had planned for today. And they divide and conquer as a group, and we Like I said, they do a really good job.
That's the biggest thing. If you can explain, hey, here's the cards that we were dealt,
Right.
and here's the why behind this. If everybody understands that, it gives a sense of peace that, okay, yeah, we're not just haphazardly doing something.
Right. There's got to be a reason.
There's a reason behind it. And if the manager trusts the guys that they have the best interest for the customer and the team, then the guys have to trust that the manager also has, they're not making a decision to hurt or punish or create a problem. They're making a decision in the best interest of the company, the team, and the customer.
Right.
So it's both trust on
Right.
both sides. So
yeah, and whether it's something that just come up today, or it's a project like the one we were just talking about with the load cells, these guys know that on any given day we're busy just because of our normal workload, without selling anything, without anything breaking down. And then it just seems to come in spurts. You'll get 5 breakdowns in 2 days, and you've got an install to do, and it just piles on, and it's just like, but you just slowly work through it. Don't panic. And
eventually
you get, I think I might have told, maybe it was you. I said, this might be the first month in my entire career here I can't get all the PIs done on time. By Friday, I'm going to have a couple guys standing around washing trucks because we figured out how to do that. And that isn't me. That's them guys that are out there doing it, saying, let's do it this way, and it's the most efficient way. And
so the guys help.
yeah, they got a lot of skin in the game because they want us all. They don't want to be there till.
And they've been doing this a long time. They're smart. They know what needs to.
They know exactly what weight kit to take and what cart and what, you've done it. You know what it takes to get the job done. And I think for new guys coming in, that's the biggest hurdle to get over, because every day is different. Every place is different. And you just have to not panic during your initial, whether it be a month or two till you kind of get the swing of things. But I mean, it's a lot to take in, whether you're on my side of the door or on the other side of the door, because it's such a in motion type fluid thing.
You always say it's controlled chaos.
Controlled chaos. That's what you want. It's always going to be chaos, but it's got to have some sort of control to it.
Any last words, Pap?
No, sir. Thank you.
No great quotes.
No, I'm quoted out.
To put on you, it'll live.
No, I don't think we're going to go viral. There was really no big product that.
I think most of it's going to actually make it past the editors. It's kind of a 2-step process in it.
Yeah. The first thing I got to see if it adds any value. And when you consider the 2 leading characters, we're already
in the hole.
Yeah, I'll be buying lottery tickets. No, thank you. Thanks for what you do here. And
yes, sir. Looking forward to getting it.
I mean, it's been a lot in 13 years. This has been a constant.
Yeah, it's never stopped.
No.
Company's grown.
Where I'm looking around the wall here, I'd be right in here somewhere. Big Pap era.
Yeah, right there.
Might have to blow another wall out or something.
For your era?
My era. All right, are we done?
Yes.
Any words of wisdom for you before I leave? Are you going to stop by and help me weed eat tonight? Yeah. That's what it's like. Hey, let's back the film up. What's it like living next to Mike Scott? Never comes down, helps me mow grass when I get behind or weed eat. I think you have come over and helped me with a couple electrical problems, because I don't like that.
Yeah, there's a handful of times. Mm-hmm. I try not to drive past there.
You go out and about?
Yeah, because then I'll feel guilty if I stop. I go out and around your place and go home. Well, all right, Pat. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Yes, sir.